Hello, everyone. As you know, my name is Abigail Elliott, and for my final presentation, I chose to highlight typography in sports. Initially, I was just going to do the evolution of logos and jersey numbers, but as I dove deeper into this topic, I found a lot of interesting stuff throughout the entire sports realm. So as we move on to my first slide, I had 5 words that capture the value of typography: engagement, accessibility, impact, clarity, and identity. So as you can see, there's definitions on here, but I think the most important parts of these 5 words are the impact it has on sports, the engagement with the fans, accessibility. Where can I find a website with typography in it? What font has an impact or clarity on an audience? And does this give a specific identity towards a team? So I think these specific 5 words really highlight the impact on sports. As we move on, how do these things relate to the sport industry? So we take those 5 words, and I made a little graphic of just 20 words that really do show a huge impact of typography in the sport industry. So you have trophies, stadiums, uniforms, merchandise, logos is a huge one, scoreboards, announcements, design cards, coaches, for example. All of these things have typography in them, whether we realize it or not. And it was interesting to see how those 5 words affected these specific words in this graphic. Can typography have a physiological impact on sport consumers? Well, as I dove deeper into this question, it definitely has an impact on not only sport consumers, but consumers in general. So according to a study by the American Marketing Association, typography and color together can increase brand recognition by up to 80%. While this statistic doesn't directly focus on sports merchandise, it highlights the significance impact that typography, along with other design elements, can have on consumer perception and brand loyalty. So although this isn't specifically to sports, you can see how important it would be to sports. A sports team is not a sports team without its fans, without its followers, without its social media. Otherwise, there would just be people kicking a ball around. So the marketing and typography and color behind these logos is what draws fans to specific teams or followings. So a little more research, pretty much a logo draws a lot of attention to a specific brand. So this can be seen whether you're shopping for shampoo or you're trying to find your favorite NFL team, because consumers' perceptions of a specific brand depend on what the logo look like, what they see when they think of that brand. And that has a lot to do with typography, whether we know that or recognize that or not. Typographic designers first look into the relationship between design and emotion in relation to the direct client-designer interaction enabled by form and motion. So sports are often about the experience. So once hooked on a logo, a team's colors, a specific uniform, or whatever, a fan will continue to purchase and invest in that team. So that's where the psychological aspect comes in. And once you have that certain font that captures your attention, like Isabella uses a very cool font on all of her class projects that captures my attention, that makes me eager to look at her next projects because it's unique. It's different than our other classmates' projects because we're not as familiar with the platforms as she is, and she's able to capture not only the class's attention, but our professor's attention by those as well. So moving on, how does typography influence sport merchandise decisions. I think loyalty would be a huge adjective that would describe this. And as we continue to talk about the logos and recognizable fonts, consumers will be proud to wear the merchandise. So as I dove deeper into what specific types are used in sports, I found a very interesting website that said 60 dominating sports fonts to impress your fans and increase sales. So these were just the top four, but there were 60. Scout, Heisman, Strikeout, and Mammoth. But in this, you can see that the typeface captures your attention. It's giving an athletic vibe. These are just four fonts that are used within the sport industry, and I think it's cool that this website was able to recognize that and pull information from various sports teams and see what's popular currently. So there is a growing audience for sports, which means more attention to detail, even typography, and marketing strategies. So I think it's important that sports bring people together, but it's important to recognize the different aspects within the sport industry, such as typography and marketing, that help bring these people together. So in marketing and advertising, typography is everywhere. So you have brand identity, tone setting, impactful messages, emotional connection, and trend awareness. These are all 5 things, again, that you should consider when choosing a specific typeface for a logo, for a brand advertisement. These things help convey the brand's personality, the message, the tone. As we continue to learn about this, I chose a specific case study. So the Dallas Cowboys. Instantly, you imagine the star in your head, right? They have a strong, recognizable brand identity characterized by their distinctive star logo, and it's a bold font. So with that, their tone setting, the typography used by the Cowboys conveys a sense of tradition, toughness, and commitment to excellence. It's America's team. So just by the typeface alone, it's conveying this America's team, toughness, tradition, just by a typeface. So it's crazy to think that one little typeface can convey so much. Then we continue with the Cowboys, the impactful message. So I think this also goes for America's team, but the promotional materials and everything in Cowboys industry looks the same because it's trying to convey that impactful message. For Cowboys fans, there is a emotional connection, conveying pride, loyalty, and community. And then trend awareness, the modern design keeps people engaged for younger generations. It's not a super complicated font that people struggle to read. It's bold, it's tough, and people are able to connect to the Cowboys. So I've attached the Cowboys logo, blue border, white line in 1964. The script logo type is displayed with the star logo, and lettering bears a striking resemblance to a font called Shark Shock. The typeface comes with limited punctuation marks, digits, and capital letters. So I found this interesting that because there is limited marks, digits, and capital letters, that the Cowboys really truly have to stick to strictly their logo. So then I'm running out of time a little bit, but I'm going to move on to the clothing industry. I know I mentioned at the beginning, initially this was just going to be jerseys and that kind of thing, but as I did more research, I just found so much on typography in sports. So Nike, we all know it as Just Do It. With its bold, dynamic typography, Just Do It is found in numerous typefaces, but they have tried to stick to similar ones the past few years. Then we move on to Under Armour. Their slogan is Protect This House. It's rugged, aggressive typography. It instills a sense of strength, unity, and resilience. And then we have Adidas. Impossible is nothing. It's presented in a sleek, modern typography, reflecting a brand's innovative spirit. So I think the message from this specifically was that the specific typeface captures what the brand is trying to display. So, like I said, Adidas, impossible is nothing. That's their slogan. But the typeface is reflecting the brand's innovative spirit and commitment to pushing boundaries. So you get a message from not only the slogan, but also the typeface. So my next two slides are just examples of these clothing industries slogans. So we have Just Do It, that bold typeface, protect this house for Under Armour. Then for Adidas, they've tried various typefaces, various different fonts. I think this is to catch different audiences' opinions and thoughts and encourage different audiences to purchase their brand. So each typeface is portraying a different message, whether we know it or not, and trying to achieve a different crowd. And lastly, like I said, I was going to talk about some various uniforms. The first one I noticed is hockey, from block letters to abstract art, the evolution of hockey jersey fonts. So hockey is most definitely the most creative and in their typefaces. So we have on the bottom left corner, 1911 to 1976, just the classic look. Professor said that it was most likely made with felt to cut out that too. But then we go all the way to the top right and we have 1992, jersey fonts gone wild. Teams really started to get creative, like the Tampa Bay Lightning with a black font with a drop shadow and a custom look. Then we come all the way to modern day and we have the New York Islanders, and we actually learned how to do this in class, but the number is on a wave and the number isn't just even. Islanders wave, they kind of want to portray that wave font. So if you look at that. Moving on to, I found a website with all of these. It's really interesting if you'd love to learn more about it. Moving on to soccer. With an increase in 18% in size and more edgy style, that the aim of a new Premier League 23-24 was to be clearer for those watching matches in the stadium or at home. So you can tell by the dates. In 2007, it was simple. Then we tried a little outline. Then we move on to modern day, and it's better for the eyes. The Premier League is constantly altering the look of their font so it is more clear for viewers of the game. This is something that I think it is important to all sports teams, that they continue to alter the way their typography is to encourage more audience, because as I mentioned in the beginning, audience is a crucial part of the sports industry. So as I conclude, typography is everywhere. Look around and enjoy it. I'm very involved in the sport industry, and I didn't necessarily realize how important and crucial it is to the sport industry in gathering audiences and appreciating the typography around us. So thank you for listening. Good luck to everyone with their finals.